That 1996, Prince Charles and Princess Diana got divorced. More than 4% of the UK population got internet access. Mitja Popovic, Serbian painter, died. And I moved to London and officially became a British Serb. My name is Maya Jordan. I was born in Belgrade, and my love for music led me to become a classical pianist. My other passion is promoting Serbia and Serbian culture, so I joined Serbian Council of Great Britain when it was founded in 2004 and have been an active member ever since. In the unusual circumstances in which we find ourselves in 2020, instead of self-isolating, the Serbian Council invites you to connect and share your story with others. We have different life experiences, but we have one thing in common. We were either born in Serbia or born in Britain but have Serbian origins, or are connected with Serbia in some way. So, what is your story? Let's find out what a couple story will reveal. Welcome! Dobrodošli na Čašicu razgovora. Our these guests today are two accordion players, Zivorad Nikolic and Milos Milivojevic, two musicians that are very well known and very much loved in Serbian community. So I would not be wrong announcing them as naši harmonikaši. So welcome to the series Cup of Story, or how you say in Serbian, Čašica razgovora. When we talk about accordion, and if you're of Serbian origin, first thought would be that we are talking about Serbian folk music. But your story in Britain started actually on the different note. As far as I know, you came to England to study at Royal Academy of Music. So I would imagine that your repertoire at the beginning was very much different than Serbian folk music. Zika, can you tell us how you came to England and what is your story?
Maya, first of all, thank you for this interview. Well, I after finishing high school in my hometown, Kragujevac, I went on to study to France, Marseille to be exact, and studied at the National Conservatory of Music there. But Milos, who will talk soon, came to England, and we were obviously in contact all the time, as being friends from 7-8 years old. And my sister as well came to live to London. So you know, we stayed in contact, and they're the main reason for me transferring later on and coming to London. They were like, come here, you know, we are happy, we're having a good time, academy is good. And they're the main reason really for me coming to do audition in London at Royal Academy and continue to study there.
Very good. So Milos, you must be really happy that you pulled your friend to come to London, because your friendship continued, but also your professional engagement really blossomed in England. So I guess that was a good move. Tell me about yourself, how you came to England.
Yes, hello Maya. 20 years ago I was still in high school in Kragujevac, where Zika and I started playing the accordion and worked there with our professors and teachers. But in 2000 I was competing in Germany. There was an accordion competition which I took part in, and this is where I met my teacher from Royal Academy, and he invited me to come and study in London. Then 2 years later, or during that period, we kept in touch, and 2 years later there was another competition in London. At the same time I took the audition. and 9 months later, I was in London already in 2002. And then, of course, Zika and I grew up together. And we were all the time in touch, especially being away from Serbia at the time. We kept in touch, and shortly after Zika came to London, and the rest is history. Now we are here.
Yes, I agree, absolutely. The rest is history, because this is the time when I met two of you on one occasion that we've been doing the concert. I think it was the Blue Danube, when we were very young, and
that's right.
And that was our first cooperation. But since then, so much happened. So you did make the history of Serbian musicians, Serbian music here in England altogether, because your career really blossomed. Everybody are aware of that. So I would like to compare that student's time, Zika, and now when you're a professional musician, how your Serbian heritage or Serbian background influenced it altogether, and has it been good experience or bad?
Well, yes, definitely. I think it was a good experience. I can connect this in quite a few ways. First of all, we come from a high school which is very well known in Europe for the accordion department, which is very, very progressive and competitive, and we have amazing teachers. Most of them studied in Russia back in the days, and some in Germany and so on. So as accordion playing and accordion studying goes, we were quite well prepared for what came later, which is a very good thing. Also from our Serbian heritage, I mean, we shortly after me coming here to study to London, we realized that Balkan music it's becoming very, very popular, you know, and this is how we got really into playing more of a Balkan music. Obviously, as playing accordion and coming from Serbia, you always played a few colos or songs for friends and stuff like that. But from there onwards, we took it a little bit more seriously, because at this time, you know, Goran Bregovic already took this music out, Boban Markovic, and you know, Milos and I talking with some other guys, we were like, well, guys, we are from there. Why don't we, you know, try and make something of it? And I think we made the right move, and you know, playing this alongside classical and other things as well.
We are very pleased that you went that way, because save us paying tickets to go to Serbia to hear or enjoy our folk traditional or gypsy music, so we can just go to London or even other places. Milos, you are probably one of most wanted Serbian musicians. Why I'm saying that? Because quite often I am sending newsletter with events that are including our Serbian or Balkan musicians and artists, and all sorts of different events. So when I open your website, there is a huge list of events, and I'm always having to spare quite a time to write in everything that you are playing. So I'm almost very pleased when I see, oh, he's playing abroad. I don't have to write these few concerts. Although I'm a bit jealous when I see that you're playing in Cuba, so that would be the place I would not mind going to play. So your career really extended with the classical accordion together with the traditional Balkan music. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because you're involved very much with English and other nationalities musicians.
Yes. Well, I think while we were at the academy, we had really great opportunity to play, to meet, and to work and learn, of course, from musicians from all over the world. I think that's one of the advantages of studying in London and being at the Royal Academy of Music, which was an amazing place. And I think our interests in music went much further simply from accordion repertoire and accordion playing. We were able to work with really amazing artists, to record, to travel with them, and to meet them properly. And personally, I love to explore different repertoire, not necessarily only accordion repertoire, which is, by the way, it's huge already. But I was very much interested in chamber music and working with other combinations of instruments, and because anything goes, in a way, anything goes as long as it's properly arranged, and that was wonderful. And like Zika said, we started playing Balkan music here much more than back in Serbia. But here also that concept was very much like concert performance. But we performed festivals in UK, abroad as well, with Paprika, for instance, with our group, but also with other musicians who were very much interested to hear Balkan music from us and to work closely on those arrangements. And for them that was a good experience. For us it was also at times unknown territory, even though we are from Balkans, but I think we again learned very much from it and just incorporated that in everything else that we were doing at the time, including classical music. And I think for audience, especially in UK, it was often they would find very good variety of styles and music that they are able to hear during the concerts. Not necessarily just classical or just Balkan music, but combination of both. Often would be really, there would be something for everyone.
I could see connection in both your professional lives. You are both playing a lot of South American music. So as far as I know, Zika, you are a member of Fugeta Quintet, and Milos is member of London Tango Quintet. So is it that common thing to connect with the South American and Balkan music? Do you see similarities? Because me as a musician, I could see the rhythm and the sentiment and all this. So tell us about that. There is connection there.
Yes. Well, adding to what Milos said earlier, Academy being a great place and meeting all these wonderful musicians, this is how Fugata Quintet started in the first place. All musicians in Fugata Quintet studied at Royal Academy, and it was just a project, for one of the concerts in the, well-known Duke's Hall over there, and it went so well. Audience loved it so much that we were like, well, we should definitely continue this, and this is how we went on to play lots of concerts and festivals and to record 2 CDs together. But as the music goes, yes, I think there are similarities in all this. Let's say, I would say personally, with both kind of hot-blooded areas, if you like, and all these wonderful melodies, sometimes rhythmic patterns similar. So definitely very emotional and soulful music, which Balkan music is as well, apart from being quite sophisticated and technical with all the ornaments and challenges that this music requires.
And Milos, your variety of places where you all perform is a huge. You've been performing in Royal Festival Hall in Sydney Opera. You've been performing in the smaller venues like small clubs like Green Note and different ones. You've been performing to the parties, like birthday parties, and you've been performing in Slavas. And the first time I heard, actually, when you performed in some Slava, there was complaint that your music was too loud. That was lovely, but the music was a little bit too loud. And I could imagine if Paprika performs in like a small living room with 5 pieces band, you will struggle to keep quiet. But that is such a big range of places where you play. And what you enjoy the most? What would be your favorite, if there is any favorite place?
Well, I think every concert is experience on its own. And talking about loud music, I remember on one occasion, and that was actually at Sydney Opera House, when we played 2 evenings in the studio of Sydney Opera House, which is a chamber venue. But upstairs on the same night, there was London Symphony Orchestra playing. And during that concert, they organizers had to actually turn us down, Paprika turned down, because we were too loud for London, for LSO being upstairs. So we were actually making a good, I think, good noise.
So this is like, doesn't matter how many people you can win the war with only 5.
No, exactly. We were competing with a full symphony orchestra.
But 5 Balkan people.
Yes. I think all concerts are special. There are many which I personally remember. There are many that, of course, since we are doing too many, you can't remember them all. No, but there's a very different experience of course, Zika and I with Paprika and with other groups, but especially with Paprika, we have done some really big festivals like Exit or WOMAD, World Music Stage, here in UK and Australia and in other countries, in front of probably around 10,000 people on a big square, which is amazing to see these people jumping, singing, dancing. It was really an experience which we'll never forget. But equally, there are concerts for a couple of people, for a couple of friends. Sometimes concert which I'll never forget is that Zika and I have done already on our own, actually, at Devices Festival, which was festival for, of course, for classical music, but we played in a school for special needs children, and that was a unique experience because seeing them, the way they responded and the way they simply enjoyed the music was special. Equally, if not more, from the festival that I mentioned in front of that 10,000 people.
Yeah,
so I think bringing the music very close to people's heart is what we are after and what we do, and this is why we do this, and I think that's the main driving force behind every single concert and everything that we do.
Talking about Paprika a lot, assuming that lots of people do know Paprika, but for some of them which haven't followed you, Zika, can you tell us a little bit more about the band, how it started, and where are you now?
Yes. Well, the band started first time, well, it must be 11 years ago or maybe even more. You know, it's the time flies so fast that it's hard to follow, but it evolved obviously over the years as every group. You know, we are all individuals with we're individual careers and obviously, you know, individual lives, so it's not easy to put 6 people together and to be united around one project, and which can be very busy at times. But what I wanted to say, you know, few people you know, changed over the years. They went on to do some of their individual projects, other projects, but Paprika as it is today in this formation, we are together for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, when Marco joined us, our newest violinist, and he's a great guy and great musician who Milos actually met. He can tell you about it after one of his concerts. So yes, over the years we you know, played lots of concerts, as Milos said, and arranged a lot of music that we recorded. We recorded our new album called Wild Wild East. This is the newest one, but we didn't unfortunately have the time to launch it properly because of the corona situation. Everything was stopped, and now we are all on hold and waiting for life to resume in full.
Yeah, we are waiting that we can see Paprika live, definitely, because as I said, for lots of us, it's a part of appreciating your musical skills. It's really night out to heal our nostalgia and to feel like we are at home. But for lots of foreigners, it's something new and very exciting. And obviously, you do have these followers, as you mentioned, and you can see on your Facebook that there are so many comments from British people, which is really great to see, and we feel all proud about our tradition and proud about you guys. So Paprika seems to be turning towards Serbian side, because at the beginning you had a few British people, and now only one is Hungarian, Peter. Does it mean that you're turning completely Serbian, or at one point, or that was just happened by chance?
It just happened by chance. I mean, this is how it came to be. But we are always joking that we are atypical, Serbian band, because we function very good. No problems, touch wood. And that these are all, apart from being great musicians, great people that we love to meet and have coffee together. And I always say, if you can't, sit and have a coffee and have a drink and have a good time, it's not easy to play with those people too, at least for me. So we came somehow that we are five Serbs in the band now, and we have Peter, who is Hungarian. He's working on his Serbian. We'll see how that goes, but he's a great player, and we enjoy playing together. That's for sure.
Yeah, we are fighting the war, obviously, the other way around. Trying to be dragged in them to learn Serbian, which is great. That's really good. Milos, what would be the most requested Serbian song that came across your career when you're performing?
I think it has to be Ederlezi or Đurđevdan. One that it's often requested, and it's a song also that Zika sings beautifully and that everybody knows, whether they are from Balkans or not, but most people have heard that song and they really love it, and it always sounds great. It sounds great to play and to see their reaction.
Yes, Rika, mentioning singing, I realized that recently you started to sing, and I was really surprised when I listened to your first CD, and the best track that I really love, it's called River. And then when I looked, it was your composition. So are you also composing at the time?
Well, yes. I mean, I do a bit of composing in this style, just started sort of spontaneously. In this music, there is a bit of space for a nice solos, for a bit of improvising and making up something of your own. And this is how I started exploring as well. And this is how this River composition, we wanted to do something different and to make better variety on our first CD, and I thought some piece in this sort of mood would make a good balance, and this is how this piece came to be. I imagine it like a river which run through the whole Balkans and unite people, and you can taste all these flavors through of different countries listening to this tune. And I have another composition called Dilemma on our newest CD. So yes, I wouldn't call myself a composer, but I certainly throw few tunes here and there from my own head and my own feelings.
And you started a new band called Vremeplov, Time Machine, and I'm looking forward to hear you live because I haven't had chance yet. But I guess that's more to people which are coming from Balkans, because foreigners will not probably know and enjoy as much that music than as they do as a gypsy music.
That's right. Well, Paprika, for instance, is a group that plays and presents the Bolton folklore in a way that this is something for English people and for foreign people. So it's really wasn't targeted to be for Serbs, because this is our music, we love it anywhere, but our aim, our goal was to present it to the wider audience, to play festivals for British people and all around the world, which we did. But Vremeplo, we just came to be spontaneously, with all those musicians from Vremeplo. When we get together, we play our folk music and songs for kafana, and then we were like, we feel like there is not enough of this in London, so why don't we share this with other people, occasionally. So it's just another project together with everything else we do, that we're gonna make some parties occasionally, or some concerts where we play Tomas Ravkovic or Silvana, or anything people like to hear.
We are looking forward to go back to the halls and enjoy that. We don't know when that will happen, and unfortunately nobody knows, but we hope that we will see Paprika, Vremeplov and Milos performing solo and all this music again. Now Milos is going to Serbia, says he's one-way ticket at the moment, obviously because of the corona. But in general, would you ever go back to Serbia to live when you're maybe older or not?
Is this a question for
Milos? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I never, of course, Serbia. It's our home, and it will always be a home. And personally, I never said no to that. And we have great connection. First of all, with family and with friends over many years, and that should never stop, in my opinion, and it should just actually be expanded on a daily basis. And I think life, it's a miracle. Nobody knows what's happening and what's also about to happen. And this current situation proves that in 24 or 48 hours things can change completely. So nobody knows. You never know. And I certainly never said no, like I said, to that. That option, it's always there, and it will always be there, I think, for all of us. It's lovely to go there, and there's nothing like obviously spending time with your family and people that you love, and being with them. And over the years, of course, we were going there as much as possible. When you're studying, it's a little bit easier. You also have time, a little bit more time for that. When you're working only, to go back to your very first question, also difference between studying and working. I think very quickly that was advantage for us. Very quickly we started performing outside of the academy. Then when the academy stopped several years later, we continued with the same profession. So we were already in a way prepared for outside world. and we continued with concerts and traveling. But then it meant that we had to plan our year or our time a little bit more, and it meant that all holidays or going abroad simply had not necessarily to wait, but sometimes just to be planned properly. But we will see what happens, and with UK, with Serbia, with our life in general.
And what about you, Zika? Your whole family is here, your Serbian wife and children, so you obviously build up home here in England. Will that probably be the place where you will stay, or you all also think going maybe back?
Well, again, I can totally relate and agree with everything Milos said. Yes, I mean, I build up a family here. I have 2 kids and a wife, and most probably, yes, we will stay here. But I can definitely imagine myself going back at some point. Now, family, we don't know our kids one day when they, are bigger and older, where they're gonna go and study and live. This is all unpredictable as life is. But I love going back. My parents live there, my family, my friends, and I'm already, even though half of the life already I'm here, I feel great going back and sort of just continuing where I stopped. Kind of, when you meet with old friends and you don't feel a gap, you just carry on where you left, which is great, and which proves that good feelings are still there. So you never know. Life is so unpredictable. We are lucky to have 2 homes in a way. We have our mother country and our adopted country, and it's good to have that option. But life took me here. I didn't plan. It was things that were happening spontaneous in my life. I'm not a type of person who is very good at planning anyway. He's kind of more a man of a motivation and a situation and how the life takes me. Obviously, there is a bit of planning, but I'm not a great planner. So you never know what life brings. We shall see.
Okay, it's to find out. I hope that you will stay here for a bit longer, that we have our regular outgoing events. Thank you very much for today, but I would like, in name of Serbian Council, in name of the Serbian community here in Britain, to thank you not just for entertaining us, but to thank you for all these events where you joined charity concerts, charity events, because you are one of rare musicians that I can ring, and I'm sure if you're free that you will say yes to any cause. And we made such a big difference raising money for all sorts of fields for Serbian people, for our needs here in England. And you too, and Paprika Band also, been always very generous to give your time, your skills, your energy for all these causes. So in the name of whole Serbian community, I would like to thank you very much for what you've been doing for us and being active members of our community. And I'm really looking forward for further events and joyful, positive mood that you are bringing to all of us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, Maya.
And now that's it for everybody, because we can't hear Paprika live. You've been great and fast exploring the Zoom performance. So for our audience and our followers, that is your last video, Paprika Band Zoom version.
1, 2, 3, e...